Hi everyone, welcome to Healing Doorways. I am your host, Alicia Marcano. And today I'm interviewing another Alicia Temerman, a wife, a mother of four, a lawyer with 20 years of experience, and the owner of three successful businesses. Yes. In 2012, Alicia experienced an amazing awakening, transforming her life from being an exhausted, full-time working mom into a thriving businesswoman with lots of time for her children and living a satisfying, fun life. Her mission is to teach women how to have more energy and live more fun lives. So I hope you enjoy this interview. Alicia, welcome to Healing Doorways.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm very excited to be here.
Thank you for being here and making some space, because I know you have such a busy life and it is a privilege to have you tonight here.
Oh.
So one of the things I love about doing my podcast is that I get to talk to like-minded people. I get to talk to light workers like yourself, and I get to ask all the questions I want, which is very exciting. But also, I get pretty much 98% of the people I interview, they live the life purpose. And it's awesome to see, to have that energy that people talk about what they love doing and how contagious is that. And one of the things about this podcast is to inspire people out there that they're still looking for their life purpose, that saying, yes, it can be done. This is the testimony of some people. It is possible. You can do it too. Keep looking for it. But I know it wasn't always like that for you. So how was your life before you found your purpose, and when did everything change?
Oh, thank you so much. In terms of you speaking to like-minded people, I feel the same about talking to you, because that is something that gets me really excited, is when people are living a life that they love. And unfortunately, on this planet, there are so many people who are on autopilot, who are just on the grind of life and just going from day to day and just surviving, really, and not really loving this opportunity that we have on this planet. And I know that because, as you've already mentioned, I was that person that I maybe thought I was enjoying my life, and I thought I was doing the right things, and looking around me, I was kind of ticking the boxes that we are, the expectations that we have on us. But in my heart and in my soul, I was not alive like I feel now. So I know the difference. I know that life compared to how it feels now. So try not to make it into too big of a story, but just the key things really for me, me really stepping onto my purpose. So I had a big event that took place that I'll talk about, which was in March 2012, which is when I found out that I could communicate with spirits or spirits beyond this dimension. And prior to that, I was living a pretty conservative life. I had gone to university and studied law and tried to get, the best degree I could. And then I wanted to get a job in one of the big law firms and kind of did all the things to try and get that job, got that job. And then I was working really long hours in the Rialto Towers in Melbourne. Those of you who know Melbourne, pretty much for all of my 20s, from 23 to 30 or younger, I think, I can't remember. until I went and had our first baby, and then went back to the law firm and another baby. And I was trying to be everything to everyone. I was trying to be this really good worker and trying to be a good lawyer. I was trying to be a good wife, trying to be a good mum, trying to be a good friend, good daughter, everything. And I had nothing left for myself. I felt like I was just doing the same thing day in, day out. I was just racing through my life, getting up in the morning, getting everything, kids that are rushing, going to work, rushing back again, feeding, doing all that kind of stuff, plopping on the couch, watching something numbness, being numb and just kind of watching TV, and then just going to bed and then waking up again. And I felt really exhausted, and I had a wake-up call one day when I had to take my son to a medical appointment, and he wasn't cooperating and my daughter wasn't cooperating. It was just one of those bad mum moments where you think, everyone's looking at me and I'm doing such a bad job. Can't she control her children? And I had this moment. Yeah, we've all been there. And I had this moment where it was like, I don't have time to be here. I remember thinking, I don't have time to be here. I have to get back to work. I have to do all this kind of stuff. And I remember just feeling like this real kind of jolt and almost like a slap in the face. It was like, what are you doing? You brought these children into this planet and you don't have time to be here? What are you doing? Like, I just felt like something slapped me. I wasn't actually slapped. There wasn't a spirit that slapped me, but I just felt this, this wake up call. It's like, what are you doing, Alicia? And at that time, I just decided, right, I have to get back. I have to get some energy back. I have got to get back in touch with myself. And that's when I went back onto my meditation and journaling and starting to really connect back with what I wanted, and spending more time in stillness and solitude to really try and connect back to what is within me. So I'd always been interested in this part of my life, and I'd studied various things along the way, but I'd lost my, life gets busy and I lost my way a little bit. So for, I don't know how long, maybe about 6 months or a year, I started to really try and nurture myself and bring myself back to life, which led to me then quitting my job and starting my own legal business back then in early 2012. And pretty much after I made the decision to leave my job and to start my own business, it's interesting the timing of this, because sometimes the universe needs you to take the action first. Before it's going to kind of meet you halfway. And so it was after I made that decision that I had the experience in March 2012. Did you want me to maybe talk about that now?
That was my second question. What happened in March 2012?
So March 2012, I was just hanging out the washing, the laundry, if you've got American viewers, the laundry, I think they call it. And I suddenly had this incredible experience where I had a voice starting to talk to me, but the voice was using my voice to talk to me. Wow. So I'm hanging out the washing, my arms are up in the air, and I have this voice saying through my vocal cords, wow, I am, like maybe 20 times, 30 times. I don't know how many times. I am. And I'm kind of not quite sure what's happening here, because I know I'm not initiating this. And then finally comes through, I am Goenga. Wow. I am your Father Spirit guide. I am here to remind you what you are here to do on earth. And I was like, oh my gosh, I have either gone spontaneously crazy or this is actually happening. Like someone is communicating with me, calling themselves a spirit. Wow. And he continued and spoke about energy and how we knew each other that at the depth of me, I would remember this connection and the choice I'd made on this planet. So it's not usually the case that someone's life purpose is so overtly shown to them. So I'm conscious of that, where someone might listen and go, well, that's all right. That's fine for you, Alicia, to live your life purpose because you were told it. So
you were told.
Yeah, but there are signs, there are so many different ways that we can start to connect back with the things that are our geniuses, our zones of genius, and the things that people love doing, that are effortless, that people see in you. Like for your listeners, it's like, well, what is it for you that is your purpose? Well, what are the things that come easily to you, that you lose time and space and you're in the zone, and that you would do if money wasn't an issue, you would do those things. And also not to get too caught up in a purpose having to be a big grand gesture. Yes. Like our purpose, it can be lots of many and varied things. So I mean, I could talk a lot about that, but we can come back to that if you want to talk more about purpose. But yes, so that's what happened in March. And then over the coming weeks, I had a lot more experiences like that with different forms of spirit coming through with different names and different mannerisms. So the work I do as a lawyer, I've done a lot of workplace investigations. Mm-hmm. So I've got quite an analytical, logical mind. And so the investigator in me was always looking for the evidence that this was real. And as each energy came through with such different mannerisms, they use my body and my hands and my face and my voice, and they're all so different. Wow. And this was like part of the evidence for me that I wasn't, well, I could still potentially be, what is it?
Making it up.
Psychotic or multi-personality or something like that, with no history of any mental illness or drug taking or anything. So there was a lot of evidence, and my body, I had a really coccyx and pelvis problems, and my chiropractor at that time said, I don't know what you're doing, but it's like I'm working on a completely different body.
Wow.
And so that was like another thing, like my pelvis pain had disappeared. And another thing that happened that was a physiological change that for me, my evidence piece was that it seemed that I was just singing one day to the radio and I was suddenly in tune. I was like, this is weird. This is weird. Wow, like my voice was different and changed. And that is because they've had to play with me physiologically, my vocal cords, because some of the energies that come through me are angelic realm, and they don't talk. They only sing. Like talking is too dense for them. Wow. So they sing through me, which is like next level weird.
That is amazing. And I guess the other way you can prove that they're real is that all the messages that they gave you, they actually work, and you couldn't really make it up yourself. You can.
Yes, yes and no, because a lot of the messages that come through, they're pretty generalized. Like they're not, some people go to a psychic maybe, and the psychic gives readings of, things that are going to, predictive readings. So my guides don't do that so much. They're very much like the messages are all around for the highest good. They have given me some specific messages that have come true kind of personally, but they don't tend to give me much of that. So yeah, I'd love a bit more of that, but they don't.
You have to do the work.
Yeah, that's it.
You have to work it out yourself. That's awesome.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. You're 100% right. And that they won't tell me answers. If I say, like when we only had 2 children at this point, and I was contemplating having more children, mainly because my children spoke to me before they came through and told me. Anyway, that's another conversation.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to bring these these souls through. And so I remember asking my guides, you know, should I have another baby? And they would just say, it's fine either way. If you,
No,
you know,
tell me, do I?
yeah, you're like, no, tell me. It's like, well, if you, you know, if you do, it will be one set of experiences, and if you don't, it'll be another set of experiences. So
Okay.
yeah,
Wow.
they just are very much that whatever you experience here is for you. It's for you.
Okay.
Even when it's
Everything's
okay. It's
either
okay.
way.
Even when it doesn't feel like that. And even when, from our human perspective and our lens, things look absolutely horrific, some of the things that happen on this planet. And it's so hard to reconcile that people are okay through that. And the human part of them is not necessarily, because they're feeling all of the pain and the emotion. But what my guides assure me of is that the true essence of the person, the soul level of the person, is completely untouched and unharmed.
Wow. Wow, that's amazing. And Alicia, what do we have to start doing if we want to be able to listen to our spirit guides? Is there can anybody do it? Do you have to be, do you have to have a
Yes,
special talent?
I believe that everyone absolutely can, because at the fundamental level, I believe that you are spirit.
Yes.
That everyone is spirit, and that is the language that the truest part of us understands and communicates on that level. So how my guides have explained it to me is that everything is energy frequencies, and we are walking around like satellites or radio transmitters, and that they can get onto my channel. So like when you're listening to the radio station, you're tuned into one channel, but there are many other channels operating at the same time. So it's around tuning yourself to be connecting back more with your own self within. I mean, you know, it's cliche, but the answers are already within all of us. Everyone, when we quieten all the external stuff and all of the busyness and all of the modern world, and just go into solitude and to really communicate with ourselves, then I believe we are connecting with the divine that is within us. That is part of the one divine, you can call it the divine mind, source, whatever it is, and that we are all ultimately that one energy. And so as we walk around in our human form, we can become a little bit dense in our energy at times, depending on what we are tuning into. So when we're tuning into a lack, we don't have enough. When we're tuning into shame, humiliation, when we're tuning into I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, when we're tuning into that, all of that human ego stuff, it's harder for us to connect with our intuition, with our guides, with our higher self, because our frequency of energy is vibrating at this denser level. As we start to tune more into gratitude, joy, compassion, forgiveness, these kind of things, we are tuning ourselves more into being receptive, to being in receivership of the higher perspective of situations. So it's not about trying to only be regarding ourselves as our divine nature and being, I'm just going to be this big, spiritual thing and try to deny that we're human. But what I understand from my guides is around the integration of our human. We are here on a human journey. We have come into human form. So it's not to deny that, but it's to fully embrace that humanness we coexist and we have our humanness and be totally human. Like, we're not perfect. We mess up, we stuff up, we fail at things, we, whatever it is, to just be, that is the messy human life of duality here. There is pain, there is health, there is all of the opposites. But coexisting with that is this lens that we have, things are in hand. Behind the scenes, we don't have to, as the humans, try to control it all. We're not the ones that bring the sun up to rise. We're not the ones that the sun set. We're not the ones creating all of the gravity and the connections with the moon and the tide. Like, there is a divine, incredible mathematician, source, energy, divine mind, whatever you want, that has that handled. So as humans, we can kind of stop trying to control the whole arrangement and just settle in for the ride and just enjoy a little bit more. So to connect with your guides, energy frequency is really important. Solitude, meditation, breath work is one of the big things. So one of my guides brings through a lot of breath energy movement exercises to help to clear our energy field and things like that. Another really good way to communicate with your guides is asking for signs. So we have free will and we need to initiate those conversations. If you believe in guardian angels, that's where my journey started. Was I really believed in guardian angels, and so I wanted to communicate. And so I asked for signs, and before all of this happened, I was getting the same number. You will have experienced this, right? Where you see the number everywhere. And even skeptics around me who are like, this is getting weird. Like, it gets crazy. So they can use symbols, they can use songs, they can use books, they can use lots of different things to try and communicate with us. You can write in a journal, ask a question, and see, just people will find that they will start to automatically write, and just information will just start to come through. So our guides and our angels, they want to communicate with us, they want to help us, but they require our free will. And so I had initiated that. I had asked, I wanted the connection, I wanted the communication. I never in my million years thought it was going to happen how it happens.
That's great. That's fantastic. I've been asking my guardian angels too. It's like, come on, give me a sign. They do communicate with numbers a lot. About maybe for the first 3 years was 911, 911, or 11, 9, 11, 9. And now it changes since last year to 11, 11, 11, 11.
Oh, yeah.
So it's changing.
Yeah, 1111 is definitely a very common.
So I was like, oh, come on! Every time I'm outside hanging the undies, it's like, please, maybe today's the day.
Well, you never know, because I actually read a book called Spirit Sisters, and when I was reading that book, I think there were about 3 examples of people who had experiences, spiritual experiences, hanging the washing or folding the washing.
Wow, really?
Yes. Well, and I contacted the author, because the author had interviewed me on a podcast, Karina Machado, and I said to her, do you know in your book, I told her the pages, and she hadn't realized, but because I noticed that because it was the same as my story, I said, so there are like 3 in your book about washing.
That's amazing. I love
it. Who would have thought? Who would have thought washing was a portal?
Yes, I love the fact that it's such a, such a everyday job. It's not like you've been meditating in a retreat for 10 days and suddenly you have that experience. You just were doing your washing.
I know, and I kind of like that too, because it's just like a mundane, everyday task. Yeah,
it's great. And everything I've read of people that have communicated is like that. Just driving to the supermarket, suddenly I got this message, and it's just incredible. Well, I have to be more open and see once my time when my time comes, hopefully very soon. And Alicia, your book, which is here, I recommend it to everybody. It's called Pure Energy. Can you tell us about where the title comes from, and yes, and how did he get to you? If you channel it or
Well,
just
thank you. So
right.
in terms of the book, so when all of this started, I had a lot of information that was coming through. And so I was typing a lot of information, and I didn't know what to do with the information, because what I haven't shared is that when this happened back in 2012, for about 6 years, I told about 6 people because for so many different reasons, but I didn't feel safe to tell people about this, because I was conscious that it was very unusual, that it could appear pretty wacky and pretty weird, and pretty strange to many people. And I did have and still have my businesses doing as a lawyer. And so I was certainly kind of worried about, you know, what that was going to mean, and what people were going to think, and all of those things. So I didn't tell a lot of people. So I had all of the information that I had typed up, and then I didn't know what to do with it. So it wasn't until 2018 that I finally got the courage to come out of the closet, the spiritual closet, I call it, and to share with people my experiences and my communications and the messages that have come through that have only brought me peace.
Wow,
and have only just brought me so much comfort that I just couldn't hold it anymore, because I thought, this has just brought me so much peace, and I'm able to enjoy my life so much more. I feel like the pressure's taken off now because of all of the messages. So I knew I had to start sharing them. So once I came out of the closet, then I thought, oh gosh, I better go back and have a look at all of that, all the writing. And then I kind of started a blank document and weaved my story and kind of pulled bits across, and I didn't bring it all across. I just kind of tried to put it into an order. That I tried for it to make sense. So the title was just, I actually can't even really remember the title, but I knew it had to be something about energy, and that at our purest form, that's what we are in our human. The human version of us is this vibrating energy. So, and then I really toyed, because I called it the Busy Woman's Energy Guide to Thrive. And I struggled with using busy, because I knew it was a word that I wanted to avoid. I wanted people not to be busy. I wanted people to be busy, but in a conscious busy, like not in a, oh my God, running around.
Pilot.
But the reason I use that word is because everyone I was around, hey, how are you? Oh my God, I'm so busy. Oh, so busy. And I just thought, these are the people who need the book.
Yes.
And so that's why I use that word, even though it's a bit of a controversial word now, because people are like, oh God, we want to avoid being that.
No, but it's great, because I think every woman is busy. Or everyone is busy. So I think it resonates with a lot of people. So, I can be spiritual and busy at the same time, and I have the guide to do it, which is great. And that's
just bring that intention. Bring that intention and consciousness to how we are living and what we're thinking and what we're saying and our actions, and whether they feel congruent or whether we're just on that autopilot.
Yeah, that's great. And now we know that you're a super busy woman. You have 4 children. Is it 4 businesses or 3 businesses?
Well, it's a good question. So I have my legal business, and then I also have like an online wellness skincare makeup business. But then I have my Global Soul Center, which is a vision that I had in 2009. It was before the channeling started. I had a massage and I saw this vision of this healing space with different practitioners coming and giving talks and energy practitioners, all of this. So that's now really what I'm moving towards and doing energy healing and spiritual mentoring and channeled sessions and things like that. So yeah, I do that. And then I also do mediation and conflict resolution for couples to help them to have better relationships. So it's kind of, it sounds like a lot, but it's not, none of it's full time. It's just, you know, bits and pieces here and there around the kids. So
well, I love the fact that you actually live what you talk about. Because, you know, if I have 4 things like that, I'll probably be so overwhelmed. I only have like 2 projects on my day job, and I'm a mom too. And I get, there's some days I get so overwhelmed. It's like, oh my God, what am I doing? So what is your recipe for success? Like, how's your routine in the morning to be able to not to spread yourself thin?
Yes.
And to be 100% in each one of your projects, and to be there for your children, for your husband, for your house, for your own businesses. Is there anything you do that you can recommend to all the busy women and men that are watching?
The first thing I'll say is that I definitely don't do all of that perfectly. I drop balls. I definitely drop balls, but what I would say is that I don't get so worried about the dropping of balls anymore. Whereas when I was a perfectionist and everything had to be perfect and I was trying to control everything, then I used to get a lot more overwhelmed because I had this expectation that everything had to be a certain way. And what I would say now is that I am very comfortable winging things, much more comfortable just backing myself and allowing whatever to happen
Yes.
without over, because I think how we get into overwhelm is we overthink, we overcomplicate, we spend a lot of time thinking of the past and thinking of the future. And I used to do all of those things, and I still can definitely fall into the trap of that. But what I would say now that I'm better at, but I'm still working on it, is that I'm just where I am. So when I'm doing each thing, it's like I'm just there and I do that, and I don't tend to overthink things. So we kind of cut through the concern about what everyone else is going to think about us, and am I worthy enough? Am I good enough? Do I deserve? Like, when we fall deeply in love with ourselves and remembering who we really are, if I think I'm this human, oh my God, everything is overwhelming because I'm limited, I'm restricted. I'm limited in so many ways. If I identify myself as just being this human, then that's overwhelming.
Yes.
But when we remember, oh my gosh, I am this magnificent spiritual being who has lived so many times before, has done so many things, has got through all of those things, as everyone is, it's like, this is a piece of cake. This is easy. This is easy. I've done it. When what we've done as in our previous incarnations, like this current 2021, it's actually pretty easy. But what humans have created is in their mind. We've got everything we need now. We've got electricity, we've got water, we've got food, predominantly, not all of the world, but for us in the Western world. But yet people are the most anxious they've ever been, the most depressed they've ever been, lonely, disconnected, all of those things. And that is what drives me, is for helping people to remember who they really are, because then you'll never feel lonely again, because you're everything and everyone.
And you have all these guides and angels waiting for you to ask.
Everyone has these support crews. We're we're not sent on this journey by ourselves. There you go, good luck. Everyone is connected back and has the capacity to connect back with that bigger, truer part of themselves. So that's the one thing, is very much being in the present, to as best as we can. This is just my beliefs and I don't want to impose them on other people, but if that feels true, oh my God, I have got through stuff before. Oh, even though things feel really tough right now, do you know that you will make it through? There's like often a deep sense, yes, I will. That's because you have before. So they're the things. But in terms of routines, I am very disciplined with my morning routine. So I do breath work every morning. I'm not allowed to touch my mobile phone. I'm not allowed to interact with the world until I've done my breath work. And I've got on my website, there are, under free resources, there are a few exercises I do every day. And plus I just do other ones, whatever they channel through me for the breath work. And then I always start the morning with a lemon tea, lemon ginger tea, if I've got ginger, fresh ginger. I get out of bed and I either say thank you, or I've started, so weird, but recently I was doing a session with a group that I was running a circle for, and it was about creating our ultimate life. And I started writing this stuff. How would you start, this day of your amazing life? And what I wrote was, I would start the day, I would get out of bed and kiss the floor.
Wow, really?
And I've never thought to do that before, but so that's how I've started. That sounds really wacky, but
Well, do you know what? It's interesting because I was interviewing the other day a shaman from Peru, and they say that the best way to connect with Pachamama, with Mother Earth, is you just go outside and just kiss the floor. Just go on your knees and just kiss the floor.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. And the Pope, that's the first thing the Pope does. I don't know if you've seen the Pope before. When he comes when they arrive to a new country, the first things they do, they get off the plane and they kiss the floor.
Really? Huh.
They do.
Oh, that's so interesting. Well, I've been doing it in my bedroom, but then I go outside and I do my breath work. So I'm gonna start kissing the ground now.
It's a good connection with Mother Earth. It's like, with Pachamama.
That's beautiful. Yeah. So as best as you can, I've always got my shoes off in the grass.
Yes.
Doing breath work. So that's how I start every morning, to just adjust myself in my head.
That's cool.
My thinking as well. And then there's lots of different affirmations people can use as well. So yeah, it's really just knowing that we are held and we are loved, and that whatever comes in the day, we're going to get through. We're going to just get through, and really backing yourself and being your best friend, being your cheerleader, and not letting the opinions of other people really derail you too much, because at the end of the day, you are responsible for yourself and your wellness. And so that has to be the top priority, is your own wellness, filling your own cup. I talk about this a lot, like filling your own cup, because we cannot pour from an empty cup, which you've heard from, lots of different people say that, but it's just so true. And particularly women, those women who are listening, not to generalize, but we can tend to really be givers and looking after everyone else and not have a lot left for ourselves. But when we start to really care for ourselves and ask ourselves in the moment, like, what do I need in this situation? What do I actually need? And tending to your own needs.
Yeah, no, that's great.
And we are full to then be able to show up in a bigger way for other people.
Definitely. No, that's beautiful. Thanks for sharing that. And so I'm going to start doing it. I'll do something similar, but I do check my phone as soon as I wake up, which is really bad, because you can get caught up there. lose
Oh,
waste a lot of time.
it's
Yeah.
so tempting, right? And I love my phone because I get to run, I get to connect with people and I love that. But it's immediately kind of the external world and everything else is starting to dominate. So it's really creating sacred space and sacred time for yourself. Tend to yourself first, fill yourself up first. Or like I've got a beautiful journal, and not every morning, but I try to just journal or write, manifest that, creation of manifesting things, and just spending that time asking questions, writing questions, and seeing what comes, and really spending that time tuning you in with whichever opportunities. And it's unbelievable at play. Like it's like the things, the synchronicities, the connections that I've had happening. It's mind blowing. It's like, oh my God, just sit back and just strap in and off we go. The universe just goes, oh yeah, we'll connect you there, and and
Wow,
and
that's
off it
awesome.
goes. It's fun.
It is fun. And Alicia, well, we are kind of running out of time, but do you think any of your beautiful guides would like to send a message today to us or the audience or myself?
Yeah,
Anybody?
yeah, I'm sure. Some people may, if they are aligned with a particular religion, may see this as something that is not for them. And so if that's the case, I just invite those people, if you don't want to stay for this section, I don't want to offend anyone in any way, shape or form. It's only coming from the highest good. And I choose when I seek to communicate. I'm always wanting to communicate directly with what I call God or source. So this is like a in-between, a messenger that I can't necessarily bring God through, but I can bring an aspect of God through, which is spirit, if that makes sense.
I'm very excited.
Okay, well, let's do it if you're comfortable.
Yes, go for it. I'll put my microphone down.
Okay, so I'll just call in an energy. I think I'll bring through Amaya. So Amaya is the energy who does all of the healing energy sessions through me with people. So she's just the most gorgeous, loving energy. So I'll bring her through, and maybe she can just give you a little what they like to talk for a long time, so maybe just like a little 5-minute message of something that will be helpful for your viewers.
Awesome. Perfect. Thank you so much.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll see you on the other side.
Okay.
Amaya, I humbly request you please come through my channel for the highest good to provide a message, whatever you think will be of assistance. I'm currently on a podcast now. They're all good with the technology. Healing doorways.
Healing
doorways. Healing doorways. Okay, let's see what we bring forth, and only for the highest good. I surrender myself to you for the highest good, and only for the highest good of anyone who receives this transmission. Thank you, Amaya.
Thank you. Oh, wonderful, wonderful. It is always such a pleasure for me to be able to communicate to other human beings, light beings in human form. I too have been in human form before, and so I too understand the many complexities that come with being in human form. And my darlings, the key things that we want humans to understand and remember within the depths of you is that you each are part of all that was and all that will ever be. None of you is insignificant. None of you is insignificant. How could it be? How could it be? But of course, every piece of the tapestry is just as important as every other piece of the tapestry, and thus you have the opportunity whilst in human form to connect and have the realization that despite you appearing to be in human form, despite you appearing to have the human body, that you are so much more, so much more. You are eternal. You are eternal, and the true essence of you will never, never die, and thus you shall be connected to your loved ones for eternity. For I remember and I know from when I was in human form, many of the fears that I had around losing my loved ones. But of course, how could you? How could you? How could you? Because the connections continue. You and we are all together, but you are currently on the frequency, the vibration of planet Earth, and thus it appears that you are existing in a way that is separated from all that is and all that ever was. But the truth is, you are not separated. We are all connected, and you have, yes, opportunities on your planet for many, many experiences. And what we hope for you all is that you have these experiences with the fullness of them, without so much of the worry and the rumination, but to enjoy your lives, and to have more fun and more play and all such things. This is an opportunity. It is not for you to all come and to be pushed down with the heaviness of life. And yes, at times, each of you may have experiences which are so very heavy and feel so very heavy. And oh, my love and compassion for you is endless for those experiences. But please know, you are safe, you are held, you are loved forever, for eternity. So. Thank you, Alicia, for providing the vessel for me to be able to have this communication with other humans. Thank you.
Wow. What a privilege, what a gift. Thank you so much.
Hello, I am back. Like, I'm back from outer space.
How do you feel after channeling?
So it's a bit of a funny feeling because it's a little bit like a trance. So it's like a very deep meditation that I can drop into you saw how quickly it happens now. Earlier on, I mean, it's kind of 9 years down the road now. Mm-hmm. So it's got easier. The transition has got easier, but when it first all started, I would be very tired. So it's like the intermingling of my frequency and their frequency. I felt like it was not an easy. Sometimes the connection was not easy, and it was like it was a struggle, and the words couldn't come through, and so it used to be quite tiring. And so I didn't tend to do too much channeling. But what I've found, it's like with anything, the more I've done, the more integrated it now feels, and so I can move in and out of it easier than in the past. Yeah, so it's not as tiring for me. But some of the sessions, like I do hour-long kind of channelings with people, and that can be quite a lot. Like I try to limit how many I do of that, because I've also got to live my normal life and be a mum and run my, so yeah.
Wow, Alicia. Well, time is up. We could talk all night. I would love to talk more about all your experiences and all that. But yeah, maybe we can have another interview sometime in the near future.
Definitely.
But thank you so much.
It's the two. Well, you're Alicia, I'm Alicia. It's the two of us, right?
Yeah,
With the same spelling but different pronunciation.
That's right. And Alicia, where people can find you if they want to find out more about you, if you have any courses going on at the moment, tell us what you're doing.
Oh, thank you, Dal. Yeah, thank you. So I am on Facebook, Alicia Jumay Temerman, and I have a free Facebook group where I share those kind of messages and channelings and sound, like vibration and breath work and things like that. It's currently called Breathe, Love, Laugh with my name. I might change the name of it, so always maybe go to my website to find, because I think I've kind of toying with the change of name of that. With my website, which is aliciatemerman.com, and then it has the free resources, which has the links. Every Monday morning I run a channeled class at 6 a.m. Melbourne time. Wow. So the first class is free, people can register for that, and if they don't make it, you get the recording. So that's a class which is breathwork, channeled breathwork by a guide called Arumba. Amaya does sound healing, chakra work, and then a guided visualization at the end. So it's a really good way to start the week to clear your energy and nourish your energy. So then, I run a dance class as well, like to have fun. And then there's, I run these goddess circles as well, which I've just finished one actually. So I haven't set another date for that. And I'm starting to do some one-day retreats as well. So I haven't put that on my website yet, but I've got that coming up, and there'll be weekend retreats soon. So there's always lots of different things, and then there's one-on-ones as well. So there's lots of ways to connect, but pretty much my website has the links, I think, to Instagram and all of those things.
We will leave all the details on the description of this video.
Okay, amazing. Sorry, I'm just going on and on, but
that's okay. That's all right. It's good to know. Well, thank you so much, Alicia, and thanks everyone for watching. I invite you, if you're in Melbourne, to get in touch with Alicia. Do you do online sessions as well, or it's just?
Yes, I do them. Yes, I can do them globally, and I've been pretty amazed by the online sessions, because I was a skeptic for them. I thought, how can I do this online? But what I've found is there is no time or space in quantum field, and my guides they connect straight in with people's energetic bodies wherever you are. It's pretty crazy.
Well, if you're anywhere in the world, you can have a session with Alicia. And thank you so much, Alicia. It's been a pleasure to have you. What a gift to have Amaya coming through as well. And Amaya, right? Did I say it right?
Yes.
Amaya coming through. For everyone watching, we will see you in another 2 weeks for another interview. So have a great week. Bye.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, beautiful. I just love the work you're doing to
Thank
spread more love and light into the world. We just need so much of it right now, and so gorgeous the work that you're doing. And I'm so grateful that you invited me onto your podcast. So thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for being here.
If you like this video, there's 3 things you can do for us. You can give us a like, you can share it with someone that might find this information helpful, and you can also hit the subscribe button so you won't miss any future episodes. Thanks for your time.